I have here a throwaway sheet entitled Culture Fights Back 1953, showing entertainment at the Capitol Hotel, Carnival Room, 51st Street at 8th Avenue in 1953, sponsored by the Committee to Defend V.J. Jerome. It indicates that Pete Seeger was one of those furnishing the entertainment. Will you tell the committee, please, whether or not you were asked to perform at this occasion, and if you did, whether you did it as a Communist Party directive or perhaps as what you understood to be a duty to the Communist Party?
I believe I have already answered this, sir.
Are you acquainted with V.J. Jerome?
I have told you before, sir, that my associations, whatever they may be, are my own private affairs.
You did know, did you not, at that time in 1953, that V.J. Jerome was a cultural head of the Communist Party and one of the Smith Act defendants here in New York City?
The same answer as before, sir.
You refuse to answer that question, Mr. Seeger?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you a photograph which was taken of the May Day parade in New York City in 1952, which shows the front rank of a group of individuals, and one is in a uniform with a military cap and insignia and holding a placard entitled Censored. Will you examine it, please, and tell the committee whether or not that is a photograph of you?
It is like when Jesus Christ was asked by Pontius Pilate, "Are you the King of the Jews?"
Stop that.
Do I identify this photo?
Yes.
I say let someone else identify it.
I ask that he be directed to answer the question.
I direct you to answer the question.
You want me to identify this photograph?
Yes.
Let someone else identify it.
I ask that it be offered into evidence as Seeger Exhibit Number 5. It's noted that the individual in this picture is wearing a military uniform. But that was in May of 1952, and by now any statute of limitations which may have related to a criminal offense for the inappropriate wearing of uniform has run. Will you tell the committee, please, whether or not you were the individual at that occasion wearing that military uniform?
The same answer as before, sir.
Mr. Seeger, I direct you to answer the question.
I think that the record should show that the witness remains mute following direction from the chairman to answer that question.
The same answer as before.
Again, I understand that you are not invoking the Fifth Amendment.
That is correct.
We are not accepting the answers or the reasons you gave.
That is your prerogative.
Do you understand that it is the feeling of this committee that you are in contempt as a result of this position that you take?
I can't say.
I am telling you, that is the position of this committee, Mr. Seeger.
The Daily Worker of April 21st, 1948 at page 7 contains a notice that Pete Seeger was a participant in an affair for Ferdinand Smith. Will you tell the committee what the occasion was at which you took part?
I hate to waste the committee's time, but I think surely you must know. My answer is the same as before.
Did you know whether or not Ferdinand Smith was under deportation orders at that time?
My answer is the same as before, sir.
Actually, I think that maybe he wasn't under deportation orders until sometime later.
What is his name, Mr. Taverner?
Ferdinand Smith, he was a Communist Party member and a former vice president of the Maritime Union. My purpose in asking you these questions, Mr. Seeger, is to determine whether or not, in accordance with the plan of the Communist Party as testified to by Mr. Elliott Kazan and Mr. George Hall, that you were performing a valuable service to the Communist Party and that that is the way they always attempted to use you.
Is that a question, sir?
It's my explanation to you with the hope that now you'll shed some light on this subject to the committee.
No, my answer is the same as before.
Did you also perform and entertain at various functions held by front organizations such as the American Youth for Democracy. I have here photostatic copies of the Daily Worker indicating such programs were conducted in Detroit in 1952, at Greenwich Village on May 10, 1947, and again at another place in March of 1948. Did you entertain at functions under the auspices of the American Youth for Democracy?
The answer is the same as before, sir. And I take it from your lack of interest that you don't want to know about the other places that I have sung. Why don't you ask me about the churches and the schools and the other places that I have sung?
That's very laudable indeed. I only wish you had confined your activities to those places.
I continued to sing for children throughout my life, not only about the folk singing tradition, but about the hypocrisy of adults. And other songs, they were just for fun, because isn't that what being a kid's all about?
Did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine?
I learned that Washington never told a lie. I learned that soldiers seldom die. I learned that everybody's free. That's what the teacher said to me. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school.
What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine?
I learned that policemen are my friends. I learned that justice never ends. I learned that murderers die for their crimes, even if we make a mistake sometimes. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school.
What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine?
I learned that our government must be strong. It's always right and never wrong. Our leaders are the finest men. That's why we elect them again and again. That's what I learned in school today. That's what I learned in school.
What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine? What did you learn in school today, dear little boy of mine?
I learned that war is not so bad. I learned about the great ones we have had. We fought in Germany and in France. Someday I might get my chance.
You watch your mouth.
That's what I
You
learned
watch
in
your
school
mouth.
today. That's what I learned.
I gotta sit down. I gotta sit down.
Where have you been all the day, Henry, my boy? Where have you been all the day, my pride and joy?
In the woods, dear mother, in the woods, dear mother. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
What did you do in the woods all day, Henry, my son? What did you do in the woods all day, my currant bun?
Ate, dear mother, ate, dear mother. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
What did you eat in the woods all day, Henry, my boy? What did you eat in the woods all day, my Savaloy?
Eels, dear mother, eels, dear mother. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
What color were those eels, Henry, my son? What color were those eels, my pretty one?
Green and yeller, green and yeller. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
Those eels were snakes, Henry, my boy. Those eels were snakes, my Savaloy.
Oh, dear mother, oh, dear mother. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
What color flowers would you like, Henry, my boy? What color flowers would you like, my pride and joy?
Green and yeller, green and yeller. Mother, be quick, I gotta be sick and lay me down to die.
kind to your parents, though they don't deserve it. Remember that grown-ups is a difficult stage of life. They're apt to be nervous and overexcited, confused by their daily storm and strife. Just keep in mind, though it seems hard, I know, most parents were children long ago. Incredible. So treat them with patience and kind understanding in spite of the foolish things they do. Someday you might wake up and find you're a parent too.
Witness, you have indicated that you are perfectly willing to tell us about all of these innumerable functions at which you entertained, but why do you refuse to tell us about the functions that Mr. Tavener inquires about?
No, ma'am. I said that I would be glad to tell you about any of the songs that I have sung, because I believe my songs will give you the cleanest explanation of what I believe as a musician and as an American.
Didn't you just say that you sang before various school groups and religious groups?
I have said it before, and I will say it again. I have sung for perhaps every kind of group, regardless of the color of their skin or their position in life.
You're willing to tell us about these groups?
I am saying voluntarily that I have sung for all types of groups, whether they were Jewish or Catholic or Presbyterian or Revivalist or Holy Roller. And I did this voluntarily. I have sung for many, many different groups. Now, it may be perhaps hard for one person to believe, but as I think back over the past 20 years, I have sung across all of these 48 states, and I have sung in so many different places.
Did you sing before the groups that Mr. Tavener asked you about?
I am saying that my answer is the same as before. I have told you that I have sung for everybody.
Wait a minute. You're telling us that you sang for everybody. Then are we to believe, or to take it, that you sang at the places Mr. Tavener mentioned?
My answer is the same as before, sir.
And what is that?
It seems like the third, or perhaps even the fourth time I have said it.
Maybe it's the fifth time, but say it again. I want to know what your answer is.
I decline to discuss, especially under such compulsion as this, where I have sung my songs, or who I have sung my songs to, or who else may have sung my songs. I love my country very dearly, and I greatly resent the implication that some of the places I have sung, or some of the people that have listened to me, or some of my religious or philosophical beliefs, or the fact that I might be a vegetarian, make me any less of an American than anyone else. Now, I will tell you about my songs, but I am not interested in telling you who has listened to them. And I will tell you about my songs, but I am not interested in telling you who else has sung them.